What we are looking to do is to upskill the reservists. We're looking to make them more lethal, make them able to survive better. I think it's a real step change. There's been no better time to be a reservist than there is now.
One section! Watch and shoot! Anybody see?
Across NATO, nations are strengthening their forces. Here in Croatia, where 8th Battalion, the Rifles, are currently on exercise, conscription is being reintroduced. In the UK, the head of the British Army has pledged to double its fighting power in just 3 years. Commander of the 19th Light Brigade, the Army's first fully reservist brigade since the Second World War, says reservists will be critical in making this happen.
We do need reservists more than ever. The threat, the strategic context that we now find ourselves in, and all the geopolitical frictions and challenges that we see going across the world. The imperative has changed, of course it's changed, therefore the training that we are delivering and the training that we are doing is far different. It is much more focused on warfighting end state.
So yesterday we conducted a field operation which is fighting in wooded areas. We destroyed and cleared 2 section strength of enemy, so that's roughly 20 people from that area. We've now moved into a harbour location. We're about to step off in about an hour and a half and conduct sort of an advanced contact on 3 further section strengths, so again about a platoon size, so 30 odd people of enemy forces, and that'll be in clear open grounds.
Figures 6, 9.
As they prepare for their own offensive, the reservists come under attack.
Watch and shoot, rapid fire!
Throughout the exercise, they've been working alongside the Croatians, honing their skills in conventional warfare, on the ranges, in the trenches and the kill house.
Rapid fire!
Temperatures have soared in country and soldiers allowed to remove helmets and body armour so training could continue safely. Exercises like this, of course, are not new to the reservists. This is the 10th iteration of Exercise Salvestar here in Croatia. But in recent times, there does feel to have been a real increase in both intensity and importance of this kind of training. More emphasis is now being put on overseas exercises. Reservists, like regulars, need to be used to working with NATO allies. Every 2 years, troops from 19 Brigade will take part in Exercise Rhino Heart, this year held in Germany, operating at brigade level rather than just within their own units. And there is a focus on reducing mobilisation time by training reservists to a higher standard ahead of deployment. Their lethality is of course also about innovation, and 8 Rifles think they've found a new technique inspired by a very old idea. Creating skirmish groups, or recce with teeth as they describe it, was suggested by one of their own riflemen, and they've been trialling it here in Croatia.
The basic tenet of it is a reconnaissance platoon, but with other capabilities bolted in, which gives the commander on the ground more tactical ability to manoeuvre. So there'll be 3 6-man teams within the skirmish group, each with a signaller, an RPAS operator, a machine gunner, recce and the ability to fire javelin.
This is not, as it turns out, a new idea, but in fact a rather old one. Over 2 centuries ago, when the British were fighting the French in the Peninsular War, they used the same concept to create skirmishes on the edge of the main battle to lure the enemy in.
To be honest, it's been tested like 200 years ago and it worked, but now we're trying to reintroduce that. Everything basically skirmish is everything that's happening aside of a big battle. So these are the skirmishes. So we're supposed to like lure the enemies to our main lines, mainly by using a Barker rifle. Our rifles had a bigger range than the French muskets. So as the riflemen engaged French were trying to engage back, but they had to close in because they were out of range. So as we pulled back, firing at them, they closed in a way. Our baseline infantry was waiting for them, and we've been just luring them into ambush. That's how it's supposed to work, right?
It's working really well on Savastar because we have a Croatian recce squad of 6 who are learning from us and we are learning from them, and we're combining together the ways of working as we shake out on Exercise Savastar. So yeah, super pleased that the Croatians have provided us with their recce platoon.
So the deployment so far has been mega. I love my job. The reason I love being the RSM of the 8th Battalion is because I get to work with interesting people.
Yeah, they're withdrawing!
I've got platoon commanders who are doctors. They finished working, in surgery. They then finish shift. come and get changed out of their surgery gear, place on uniform, and then come and play soldiers with me on the weekends, and then go back to work on a Sunday night. I find that quite inspiring. The variety of professions within the battalion, I think that's what makes us, an armed reserve unit, special.
Amongst the ranks here in Croatia, they have a Scottish botanist, an Irish postman and a former sheep farmer, and they insist they are ready and willing to go, should they be deployed.
I think just the way, not just the British Army goes, but other militaries across the world are depending more on reserves. It makes sense.
With what's happened in the last few years, obviously in Eastern Europe, I think it's really important now that the reserves has a focus and is the battle ready to be able to support the regulars, and that has changed massively from when I first joined, when Afghanistan and the last Toral tours were finishing off, to now.
We want it. We want to contribute meaningfully. We don't give up our weekends and training nights and things like that to just sort of be there in a holding pattern. We want to contribute. It's of vital importance, and the reservists are ready for it.
Hannah King, BFBS Forces News in Croatia. Thanks for watching. For more from Forces News, like and subscribe to our channel.